Hello, this is Running Robert, and today we're going to be talking about the Gossamer Bio GOSS first quarter 2025 quarterly summary. Today is the 19th of May 2025, and late last week we got the quarterly report. And so in this video, we're going to be looking at the bullish and the bearish parts of that. So I generally follow small cap pharma, I do games, I do a little bit of everything. So if you like what I'm doing, hey, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot, and thank you. Disclaimer, I have bought shares at 89 cents. That looked a lot better earlier in the year, but still very positive. I'm an amateur investor, and any advice given should be followed up by our own due diligence, and information given is valid for today, the 19th of May, and the slideshow will not be updated, but as we get new news or new quarterly reports, new slideshows. So let's go ahead and look at the quarterly update. So the Procera phase 3 for PAH was moved to February 2026. That is from the fourth quarter of 2025. That is not a huge move. And it makes sense where they have the move, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And then the phase 3 for PH-ILD expected to start in the fourth quarter. That is moved from the second half of 2025, so that really is not much of a change. Cash at the end of the first quarter was $258 million. Collaboration revenue was $10 million. Total operating expenses were $47 million for the quarter, with a net loss of $36 million, which is on par to what they lost in quarter four, about $33 million. And so the data is 4 quarters away, and we're just saying March to March. No big deal. So that current burn would put it at 144 million if they kept it up, which again, that might not be, it might be a little bit higher, a little bit lower. We're not sure, but that pretty much says that, hey, we will have data before we run out of cash, or even close to running out of cash. So that is definitely very positive. The investment thesis: the company has one drug with the current phase 3 trial ongoing, with a second phase 3 trial for a different indication that's going to start in the fourth quarter. Company has a partner that will split the costs for the second trial, but not the Procera trial. And then orphan drug designation and patent protection until 2039. And I'm expecting approval late 2026, early 2027. Whew, that's a lot. Okay, so let's talk about the trial. So it's a phase 3 study. It's a double-blind study, which means nobody knows what they're getting. Not the people administering, not the patients. Treatment is a total of 48 weeks. The primary endpoint is the change in the 6-minute walk distance, which is measured at 24 weeks. Full enrollment is expected by June of 2025, and the trial is more heavily weighted for this one for the functional class 3 patients, and that's the more severe patients. So the phase 2 had some good results, but not as good, but this one is definitely weighted for the more severe patients for it. Everything else. So PAH market is huge. I mean, in the US, it's $2.3 billion in 2024. So again, you get into it, you're in good shape. The drug can be used in combination and not be a direct competitor. So it uses a different mechanism than stuff that is on the market. So of course, that will make it something that they can take in tandem. So you're not really competing against it, which is very positive. The drug is administered through a dry powder inhaler. We like that a lot because working in the industry, fill finish stuff that is in bottles that you have to have injections, lot rougher to get approval for, because there's just gonna be more that they're gonna look at in your regulatory or inspection stuff like that. Dry powders, oral stuff like that, it's easier. The partner has a good record of going to large markets with success. I will say CPLX, they are actually a partner of they have the same partner, and so far the results have been good. So Chelsea will give GOSS $160 million in development cost, along with $146 million for regulatory and $180 million for sales milestones. So all of that is fairly positive. We do like the 146. So if we get approval, or we get a good result and approval, $146 million total, it's going to go a long way. And that's good, because next slide, we're going to tell you what we need to do with that money. So what's wrong? Again, as I mentioned, the phase 2 trial met its primary endpoint, but not show as much improvement as other drugs currently on the market. The phase 3 trial is supposed to clean that up. The trial, especially concerning the patient selection group. So majority only had mild PAH in the first trial, 42%. That has now been bumped up to 74% for the phase 3. So much more severe, which should clean up the data pretty well. And then we have a lot of notes, a lot of warrants, a lot of shares. So 2027 notes, there's 12.3 million of them. The notes are paid at like $16 a share for about 190 million. So that is going to be rough. along with 47.7 million stock options. They're between 171. Currently, there's 17 million open at 278. 22 million shares for the partner, and 32 million shares for warrants, and they go from 163 to 204. So there's 115 million shares that can be exercised, and we do expect exercising if it goes well. And like I said, the notes are paid at a huge amount for 190 million. Again, if they get approval, they can probably figure out a way to work that out and kind of go from there. We've seen that a lot where they will get a new group to pay off the old one, go from there. So, summary: the stock was definitely going the right way for a bit. It got as high as $1.50, but it definitely has now returned back to $1. The slight delay did not impact the stock price. So instead of fourth quarter, they told you exactly February. The market did not care, which is positive. I do still expect a run up for the data, and the current market cap is 236 million, and they're going into $1 billion market. So we are very happy with all of that. So hopefully this gave you some good information. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.